Self-reflection. Self-reflection. That is what I want us to think about and talk about on this week's episode of Minutes with MinistaMike. Self-reflection. Last week we spoke about self-awareness, and as I was talking, I mentioned introspection, self-reflection and all that. And I thought, okay, let me talk a little bit more about self-reflection, because if you really want to be self-aware, you have to self-reflect. You have to think within. You have to go within and think deeply about yourself. So, what is self-reflection? Self-reflection is like looking in the mirror and describing what you see. In a way, it's like you are assessing yourself. That's just the definition of it. You are assessing yourself. You want to know your ways of working. You want to know how you study, your way of thinking. Reflection just means thinking about something. So self-reflection now means thinking about yourself. So I want you to go with the mindset this week that you need to think more about yourself. And I want you to hear me well. I'm not saying you should worry about yourself, because most people will say, Mike, we are thinking, we are really doing it. We're thinking about ourselves. Most often, we always think about ourselves, but I beg to differ. You are not thinking about yourself. Most times, you are worrying about yourself. You are concerned about yourself. And that's not always bad. But you know, too much of everything is not that good. So today, I will give you pointers. When I say you should self-reflect, what are you to do and how will you do it? Do you understand me? So this week, just have it as your plan, as your personal project, that you will think about yourself. So how do you self-reflect? What are the processes of self-reflection? The first one I will want you to understand is you are paying attention to your immediate situation. That is self-reflection. You are paying attention to your immediate situation. What are you going through right now? What is happening in your life this present moment? Yes, I want you to pay attention to it. Most times we ask questions when bad things happen to us. We ask questions that, oh, why me? Why me? The reason why we are asking that question is simply because we don't want the situation that is happening to us to happen. So I want you to answer that question. And that is what self-reflection is all about also. When you say, why me? Answer that question. But most times we say it and then we just throw our hands up in despair. That's not what I want you to do. That the first process that I want you to think about and work on when you are reflecting upon yourself, when you are thinking about yourself, is to pay attention to your immediate situation. Your circumstances that is happening right now, pay attention to it. Why is it happening? What can you do to change it? What can't you do to change it? What are you doing that is causing this thing to happen? Because I believe in cause and effect. I believe that whatever we put into something, there is a corresponding output that will come out of it. So what are you doing right now? What are you going through right now? What circumstances are in your life right now that you need to pay attention to? So go out, figure it out. Anything that is happening to you is worth paying attention to. So I want you to pay something, and that is your attention. Another way for you to self-reflect is to think about your future plans. So I want you to look at yourself once again and say, what do you want to do in the next 6 months? What do you want to achieve in the next 2 years? How do you want your life to be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Then you think about that. You don't just daydream about it. You don't just have wishful thinking about it. You don't just imagine yourself in a place. No, you strategically think about it. That means you think, okay, this is the life I want to live. What will I do right now? What should I be doing now for me to be able to get the result, for me to be able to be in the future that I see myself being? Who must I become for me to be able to see that dream come to reality. That's another process of self-reflection. And also you can also step away from distraction. That's one way for you to self-reflect. You cannot self-reflect, you cannot think about yourself when you are always distracted. Can you put your phone on airplane mode? Can you shut down all your devices? Can you just leave your friend for a few minutes? If you've decided that you want to think about yourself for 5 minutes, 5 minutes is not too much for you to cut off every distraction. 10 minutes is not too much for you to cut off any distraction. 2 hours is not too much in 24 hours for you to cut off any distraction and focus on yourself. So I want you to go out this week and think about yourself and continuously learn about yourself, because what you don't know, you cannot change. What you don't know, you cannot improve upon. So when you think about yourself, when you reflect on your life, you'll be able to do what we discussed last week, and you'll be able to be self-aware. You cannot know yourself if you don't think about yourself. So I want you to go out this week and think about yourself. Self-reflect. Thank you, and we will talk next week. Bye for now.